Be careful how you respond if someone gives you this psychological test. Men and women interpret this differently, and the way you interpret it reveals a lot about your personality and the problems you're likely to face in life. Imagine someone fills a jar with fresh cheese to attract you. At first, you're cautious, but after a while, you start tasting and enjoying the food. The cheese is so good and plentiful that you think, finally, I can relax. I don't need to search anymore. I can stay here, eat here, and finally enjoy and live my life. Over time, the level of cheese goes down, and you start gaining weight and becoming lazy because even though the cheese isn't as fresh anymore, it's still easy cheese and you're comfortable. Then, sometime later, you reach the bottom of the jar, and that's when you have to face the truth you've been avoiding. I'm trapped, and I won't be able to get out. You realize you're no longer free and have to do what the owner of the jar says if you want to keep getting cheese. The interpretation you give to this story reveals a lot about you. To begin with, did you see yourself as trapped inside the jar? Or did you imagine yourself as the one setting the trap to catch someone else? And then there's the context. I'll give you the most common male and female interpretations. Let's start with the male one. You get a job, and that job becomes your comfort zone. Over time, as you receive more and more cheese, meaning money, your lifestyle starts to inflate. You get a more expensive place to live. You're paying for a car, you've gotten used to traveling and eating at restaurants, your friends have a certain level of spending, and your partner has certain expectations. Maybe you got yourself a girlfriend with expensive tastes. The more cheese you receive, the more your lifestyle inflates, and there comes a point where, even though you're earning a great salary, you're a prisoner to your job because you need it to cover all the commitments you've made. And yet, the same job that traps you could have given you freedom if you had kept your expenses low and saved that cheese to invest in a business or a cow that could produce your own cheese. Now, a common female interpretation goes like this. This happened to a friend. She was stunning, truly gorgeous. And I say was because she's not as beautiful anymore. She earned her own money, and one day she met a man who gave her way more cheese than she already had. She relaxed and moved into his jar without securing a commitment first. Over time, they had kids, and he started giving her less and less. Now, she's trapped because she has two mouths to feed, she's no longer generating her own cheese, and she doesn't have the beauty or the suitors she once had. These are two common interpretations, but look at the tragedies people interpret in the comments. I want to show you this graph. The turning point in my life happened at 33. That's when everything started to improve, and I began focusing on my habits. It all happened after reading Atomic Habits, and it makes me angry that I didn't read it earlier. People who read it before turning 30 have such an advantage.